Hello again, David Hosey from Hosey Consulting and Training. This video is going to be about not one, but two FN-502s and my experience with them over several years as a training rental gun. What's worked with them, what have been some serious problems I've had, and how I've worked through it. And this may be the best training pistol on the market. This video is going to go over my journey with that and show you the different problems, the solutions, and you're going to see different clips over a multi-year journey. Hello, David Hosey from Hosey Consulting and Training. Today, going over the FN-502, an almost perfect training gun. Okay, let's go forward here. Look at that, clear. Notice I got a holster, will fit fine with the suppressor on it. So, 5-round group, 7 yards. A little off, but it was a heavy coffee day. This pistol, I've been struggling with a couple different versions, with several different plates, with a couple different suppressors for 5,000 rounds. And what I do is I run a training company, which I have rental guns. And this, when it's working fine, is about the best pistol trainer for new shooters, in that the suppressor takes care of the standard velocity ammunition, the crack. It's hearing safe. Light single action trigger with a long reset, completely ambidextrous controls. Red dot mounted on it. Got the hollow with a big circle and that little chevron in it, so it's easy to find. What this does is deal with people with flinches, target acquisition problems, and whatnot like that. Inside a couple of magazines, it'll clear up half of people's problems and let them understand what the problems are so they can fix them themselves afterwards. Problem is the plates. They suck. Also, parts of this, like the pins, start backing out on it. I've got some struggles I've had through this, what I think is possible solutions, and when this is working, how well it really does work. So going over the FN-502. So once again, David Hosey, I run a small training company in Northwest Oregon. I have rental guns. I deal with a lot of new shooters or shooters that are having problems like flinches or other things going on. I've been looking for quite a long time for good 22 trainers that can help people kind of bridge that gap with both new shooters or shooters that have had bad habits. Went through like 5 different 22s for it. The one I came up with that works best for it is the FN-502. I happen to have 2 models here. What it is a semi-automatic hammer-fired pistol, single action, light trigger, long reset for new shooters kind of helps. Completely ambidextrous controls, safeties, mag release, everything else. Takes 15 and reduced capacity, 10 round magazines. The threaded barrel, so I can add suppressors to it, so that we don't have to deal with the bang for new shooters, and we can talk in a hearing safe environment. Suppressor height sights, so you can add suppressors. Thought this one is rather low. And also be able to see, co-witness the sights with a miniature red dot on it. This one's a Holosun 507 with that primary arms reticle with the big circle and the little chevron side of it. Works perfect for a training gun. I got a holster off Amazon, really inexpensive. I think it's for a 509, but it fits the 502 just fine. And a little bit of whittling here. You can use it with the suppressor on and holster that, so I can teach safe gun handling, working with the holster with the training gun. Really popular training gun, except for 2 flaws. One of them's big. First one is the plates are made of plastic and they fall apart. There's supposed to be 2 nubs here. It's the Holosun plate that should work with or Trichicon plate, which should work with Holosuns. The nubs come off, then the screws start going lateral side to side. It has all kinds of problems. We'll put in a video of me a couple months ago trying to solve these problems. And with new plates, it's failing. Sluggish because it's a bit dirty. Happens past 300-400 yards when it's suppressed. And the zero's gone off again, which is a problem I had hard close. Yeah, a little lateral movement here. So the plate's gone. More on that. And it's getting me left and right issues. We'll talk about this more in the classroom. So with this gun, went through, had one plate. It started failing. It took several thousand rounds to do it. And got a lot of use out of this, a lot of rental usage. The gun paid for itself, but the plate started being a problem. I would tighten it back up while shooting with this. If I had to, because the plates would start shifting, you're doing really well with the client, then it would shift. We're back at 50 yards and it goes off target, which is a little kind of hard to explain to a client when they're paying for the privilege of using the gun. But when it did work so well, it's such an accurate, easy to hit gun that's quiet. It got nicknamed by my clients Giggle Gun. Man or woman, young, old, they giggle with it after using the thing for a while. So fantastic trainer, except for that problem with the plates. So I contact FN. They give me another plate and say they have, or just a reset of the plates and say, use these different screws, tighten them up, don't use Loctite. Do that, same thing happens. I get other screws, same thing happens. I put the other screws and I put red Loctite in, same thing happens. Well, I started with blue, but even went red. I bought an entire new gun and with the plates and thought maybe it was just the screws coming loose in this, because once the plate goes, you get lateral vibration even with the screws in. And you think you can just tighten it down with the plastic plate. It just won't work with it. There's enough flex back and forth. So the new plate's failing on this. I got FN quality, but it's actually made by, if you like here, Humanex in Germany, which makes, I think it's pellet guns and also some other 22 trainers for other companies, including like Walther. When I really bought this, I thought I was getting this kind of quality. This is an FN-502, about a 20-year-old gun. I got this 14 years ago. This version of it had a lot of innovation at the time, including the beginning of plate systems with steel plates and then variable back straps. The plate on this is fantastic. This thing's turned up to all kinds of hard use, and it's really what this gun's modeled on. It's just a 22 version of this. Well, this is double action, single action. This is only single action. But this is in part what I thought I was getting. I wasn't. The money was a little higher on this than a lot of other Humanex guns. Thought this is a feature-rich gun, even its base configuration before I've added things to it. So we'll talk about the problems with the plates and how I fix that. In addition to the plates, there's one other thing, is the roll pin right here underneath the disassembly lever. This will back out on me on both versions of this. And sometimes I'm trying to disassemble it and I won't quite get it. I have to pound it back in with a punch. And that's a regular thing every few hundred rounds. Second one, this is starting to give out on me. Look far and wide on the internet, talked with other 502 owners. Some have had these problems, some have had not. I eventually found in the last month Athena Precision, which has a metal plate. It says steel plate here. I think it might be aluminum. I'm going to open it up and attach it to this and then go out and shoot, and hopefully we can solve our problems. See what we got going on here. Oh, hey, the plate has not come undone yet. So that was good. I thought it was. We're going to replace it out with this Athena plate, which the lugs fit right into, and seems similar enough to the other plate. We'll see if it will lock on in. Yes. Reading the instructions, I need to do this with purple Loctite and have it set for 24 hours to going the weight on this. My camera woman, because I was going to do it with blue Loctite because I've been so frustrated with this thing and just drive on through, doesn't want me to do that. So I'm going to go find some blue Loctite. We'll set for 24 hours. We'll come back at this tomorrow.
No circumstances should any red, blue, green, or blue thread lockers be used.
So, been several weeks and several hundred rounds with the Athena Precision plate. All chest hits at 50 yards. Again, this gets confidence. It's not the fastest gun with that long reset on the trigger, but it works. It doesn't shift on me. It's a solid, usable tool that I can use in a business. This is what I want. I tried like a half dozen different types of guns before I got to this one. This is good. We'll go back in the classroom and talk over more with it, but this just works. So it's been several weeks now. Problem's been solved. Problem stayed solved on a couple of different guns. So what this really does for me is, as a trainer, is this really solves problems. It has a holster that it fits in, the suppressor, the red dot, that light single action trigger with a thumb safety. I can take new shooters or shooters that have experience but still have a bit of a flinching problem and give them this or this, and problems clear up in a couple magazines. I've had one shooter that was like medium skill level, brought a full-size gun to the class. It crapped the bed on him. He ran this for the day, and the next time he came to one of my classes, he dominated that class with just a 365X with a red dot on it, because the experience he'd had with this. Flinches go away. You can, because your part of your brain that flinches can talk to the part of the brain that doesn't flinch. You build up confidence with this. It gets competence, and that builds confidence. And that's really what I'm trying to teach here, is confidence to be able to fight with a fighting gun. This looks like a fun range toy. Enough time with this under skilled instruction, and this translates to fighting ability. And for me as an instructor, this is a fantastic tool that allows me to solve problems a lot quicker. Athena Precision, thank you for getting a metal plate, because FN plates are a problem. When I called them up, they know it's a problem. So if you're looking for a really good training gun, this is your thing. If you want to build up your fighting skill, this is a thing. I use an older, heavier Silencer Co. Sparrow on this. This is a nice Q erector, which balances out nicely. Whole guns is what I provided. Got the holsters from off Amazon, just whittled out the end of them to make it work. It's not quite the quality of FN full-size guns, but it's close enough. And with what Athena Precision does, thanks again for filling that market void. You've made my life easier. And I'm going to be recommending them to all my clients, because I got several of them that have bought these after training with them. I think that's about all I can say about it. It works well if you can solve the problems. The pens will drift out. You need to you need to change the plates. It's a great tool. Again, questions down below. Thank you for your time and consideration. Good day. Tell me you got all that.
Don't mean to show off. Yeah, I did.